Figuring out what sort of game you make is almost one of the most important decisions you can make about making a game because it's going to influence everything else you do, from what engine you use, from the type of art you make, to the size of player base you're going to have, to the saturation of the market. But over the years, I've figured out certain types of games that I just think I'm never going to make. And the very first category I want to go through is platformers. I don't think I'll ever make a game that's like purely a platformer. Sure, there could be some platforming type mechanics and movement because I like 2D games, and running around on a 2D screen and jumping over blocks and stuff like that is kind of quintessential to certain types of 2D games. Like my mining and crafting game that you might have seen earlier this year did have some platforming mechanics, but I wouldn't call it a platformer because it wasn't about, like, to me, a platformer is about expressing these like almost pixel perfect jump sequences and kind of mastering these like interesting movement mechanics or exploring them in different ways. So games like Celeste and Ori the Blind Forest are things I'll probably never make. And why? Why not, Aarimous? Well, one, it is a huge genre full of incredibly well-made games. But two, I suck at them and I don't particularly enjoy them. That's the truth. That's the truth. As someone who is more of a novice developer, one of my, especially like a game designer, one of my like North Star moments is finding things that I find fun and making games that I enjoy playtesting, because that's something you're going to be doing the whole time you're making your game, is you're playing your game. When you give it and release it, you're likely the person who's played it for 50, 60, 70, 100 hours as you've been playtesting it. And I frankly don't really enjoy platformers, which could mean that I might be a perfect person to make a platformer because I'd have a very unique take on it, or could make a platformer that would be more friendly to people who, like me, who suck at them. But I think for now, it's going to be a category I just avoid. Hey, Aarimous from the future here. If you want to support the channel any further, I'll keep this nice and quick. Go check out Hexagod. Go make sure you wishlist it. Play the demo. I'm cooking every week right now. I'm having a new patch come out, so there's new feedback for you to be giving. And in fact, I need to go update the screenshots. The second one I want to avoid is multiplayer, specifically competitive multiplayer games. Multiplayer games have their interest because, and they have their allure because instead of you having to balance an AI or having to balance a difficulty curve of something, your players get to create the metagame. Your players get to create unique opportunities based off of humans being shitty decision makers and not everybody having the same level of understanding of the game. So if you put a bunch of humans into a sandbox of a bunch of rule sets and a game and an experience you've created for them, some unique moments are going to happen. I play League of Legends a ton with my friends, and I absolutely have enjoyed watching Worlds happen right now. And I love League of Legends because there are a bunch of those unique moments that are happening because there's 10 people on Summoner's Rift all making individual decisions that can lead to unique and fun gameplay moments. And there's something fun about overcoming some enemies and kind of smurfing on somebody or getting that pentakill, which I'm not actually sure if I've ever got a pentakill at this point in my League of Legends playthroughs. But I'll specifically never make a competitive multiplayer. I could see myself making like a cooperative experience where people are working together. But the main reason I don't want to do a competitive multiplayer is because of cheaters. You see games like Escape from Tarkov and Rust and League of Legends constantly having this insane arms race with people who are cheating to get an edge over other humans, which I suppose I don't understand it. I don't understand why people cheat to feel better. Like, if you suck at a game, suck at a game. I suck at platformers. I suck at League of Legends. That's part of the challenge for me, and part of the allure is me becoming better at these things. So the main reason is because as a solo developer, good luck if I can figure out how to like keep people from cheating in my game. If people want to cheat in my single player experiences and go and edit the files and do different things like that, that's fine. They're ruining their own experience. But if you're cheating in a multiplayer, especially a competitive situation, you're ruining it for other people. So platformers, no thank you. Competitive multiplayers, no thank you. And the next category I want to talk about is puzzle-based games. And my big issue with puzzle-based games is not that they're not fun and not that I don't like them, but they are fun and they are probably really hard to design well. And that's purely because one of the goals in a puzzle game is to have these little levels with these little hidden aha moments where your brain has to think in just the right way to realize the solution and have that aha moment. And you can't make it too easy and you can't make it too hard. And you have to slowly ramp up that difficulty so that there are those aha moments for a varying degree of different brains, because all of our brains work incredibly differently. Trust me, I have dyslexia. I know that learning in the process of figuring certain things out, like for me, reading and spelling is super hard to do. I know that works differently for different types of brains. So the solution is to have a lot of testers, have a lot of people playing the game, have a lot of people working through those levels to give you feedback on how hard it is to do. And that can help. But you can only use one tester once. I don't have that many friends to be playtesting Hexagod, and in fact, I've told a few of them, hold off on it so I can see and watch you play once I have more of the features added. But with a puzzle game, once somebody figures out the aha moment for a given puzzle, they can't go back and re-have the aha moment. They already have that understanding. So the amount of testing you're going to be doing is going to be a bit more difficult with games like that. So there is a subcategory called Zachtronics games, where instead of finding the solution, you're finding a solution to a puzzle. And I think those could be a type of game I do want to make in the future. And I'll leave a link below to a GMTK, Game Maker's Toolkit video, talking about Zachtronics games and why they're so interesting. And the final category of games I never think I'm going to make is going to be RPG based games like Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley was made by one person, so I think a lot of people see that and say, I could make it as well. But from my experience and my understanding of these, you're going to be making this game for a couple years, and that's okay. If you want to make a game for the next 3 to 5 years of your life, do it. Absolutely go for it. But for me, the time committed to making a role-playing game with a story and all these different intertwined mechanics and all these different scenes and art assets and events and things like that, or something more like a Skyrim, more like your fundamental RPG where you're exploring this huge open world and doing all these side quests, like if that's the type of game you want to make, go do it. But for me, in a couple years, I want to have made a couple of games. And so I'm just going to steer clear of role-playing games. Straight up, I don't really need stories in my games. If I want a good story, I'll read a book or I'll watch a good movie, or even better, I'll go watch an amazing TV show. But for me, RPGs, fun, amazing, a lot of people's favorite games. It's gonna be a huge time sink. So just know that going into it. Your mileage may vary on all of this stuff. And I would say at the end of the day, find something that feels like it's your game, something that you love and you care about. And I guarantee if you do that and you see your game through to the end, there's going to be some other people who appreciate what you made as well. We're in a unique spot as solo developers or indie developers where we can put soul into our games, because so many AAA games are these big conglomerate and hundreds of people working on them, and it's really hard to keep that soul. But as a smaller, agile team, maybe a solo developer, you have a great opportunity to do that. Follow the fun, do the things you like to do, and I guarantee someone's going to find your game and also enjoy it. I've been Aarimous. Good luck out there. Nobody has to be on this little rock. Life's hard. Be gentle on yourself. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.